What if the biggest risk wasn't starting a business in America, but starting one during a recession? Meet Joe, an entrepreneur who saw opportunity where others saw uncertainty. He didn't just invest in a business, he transformed it. Starting with a small, outdated camera store in Las Vegas, he made a bold decision: renovate it, rebuild it, and turn it into something bigger. But as the business began to grow, a new challenge emerged: growth itself. The space became too small, the demands increased, and the pressure to scale became real. Because building a business is one thing, but building one in a new country, with financial risk and immigration implications, is something else entirely. How do you grow a business fast enough to sustain your future? What challenges come with scaling in a competitive market? And how do you turn a single investment into a multi-location success story? In today's video, you'll hear how this entrepreneur turned a small store into a growing brand in Las Vegas and the lessons he learned along the way. And later in the video, we'll break down key immigration insights many people overlook, along with a quick quiz to test your knowledge about U.S. visas. Let's dive into his story. Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this in-depth content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more. Now, on with the story. Transforming a business.
I bought a camera store here in the same shopping center, but it was a very old-fashioned camera store and pretty small unit. So we upgraded the whole store. I found good people who work here, who are really doing a good job. Yeah, we renovated everything, and when the store looked pretty good, we found out that the unit was too small because our business was outgrowing the space. So we decided to move into a bigger unit in the same shopping center. We did this, I believe, 2 years ago. And yeah, that's the unit we are in now here. And this is also a little bit smaller already now, especially the office area and the storage area. That's just too small. And we wanted to grow anyway, open a second store somewhere.
Every business starts with a decision. In this case, it wasn't about building something from scratch, but transforming something that already existed. A small, outdated camera store became the foundation for a much bigger vision. Instead of accepting its limitations, he upgraded everything: renovation, team, operations. And almost immediately, the results started to show. But success introduced a new problem. The business began to outgrow its space. And that raises an important question. Imagine investing in a business and seeing it succeed faster than expected. Would you feel ready to scale it right away, or would you hesitate? Tell us in the comments.
Growth and expansion.
And so we decided to buy a second store, and we did this 2 weeks ago. The store is just on the other side of town in Las Vegas. Very good store, which was in this town for many decades, and we renamed it now, so it's also BNC Camera now. So we have BNC Camera West, and we have BNC Camera East, and we have some really good people working in this store also, and I'm pretty sure that we will be successful.
Growth is exciting, but it comes with pressure. As demand increased, staying in the same space was no longer an option. So instead of slowing down, he made another bold move, relocating to a bigger unit. And not long after that, an even bigger opportunity appeared, opening a second store across town. This is where many entrepreneurs hesitate, because scaling a business doesn't just multiply opportunity, it multiplies risk. For example, imagine two business owners in the same situation. Both have a store that's growing quickly. One decides to stay in the same location, afraid of taking on more risk, and eventually loses customers because the space limits growth. The other decides to expand, investing in a bigger location or a second store, allowing the business to grow and capture more demand. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. From an immigration perspective, this kind of growth can be critical. Investor visas, like the E-2, are designed for businesses that are active, real, and expanding, not just surviving. So the question becomes, if you had the opportunity to expand your business, would you take the risk or focus on stabilizing what you already have? Let us know in the comments.
Building during uncertainty.
It was for sure pretty difficult to overcome this recession and start a business in such a bad economy. I believe America is the best place to start a business and to run a business. It's not only because all the laws are pretty good, they really like small business owners. If you're a small business owner in America, this is really something. That's really status. That's different. Where I'm from, if you have a small store, you are whatever, But here in America, you are really somebody if you have a small business, which is pretty nice.
But this journey didn't happen under perfect conditions. Starting and growing a business during a recession is one of the hardest environments any entrepreneur can face. And yet, this experience revealed something powerful about the United States, a system that supports small business owners and rewards initiative. But even in the best environments, challenges don't disappear, they just change. One of the biggest, cash flow, managing inventory, paying upfront costs, and waiting for revenue to come in can create constant pressure. Imagine having a successful business but always needing to stay one step ahead financially. How would you handle that kind of stress? Tell us in the comments.
Building for the future.
For merchandise, if you offer good service and they just come to your store and buy something. And what we did, we did a lot of marketing, advertisements, we invested money. The biggest challenge we had was always cash flow, and it is still cash flow. Because we have a lot of merchandise, so we have to pay this merchandise, and it takes a while until we sell it. But we have pretty good customers from all over the world, and locals here, of course. And, they support us. They buy our stuff, and we make money. It's good. I would not take money out of a store at the beginning. I would just live really on low money at the beginning, just tighten the belt a little bit, and just leave the money in the store, let it work. And then you have more money later. I think you should have a business which can pay you from the beginning on. But the question is how much money you need. Do you need a new car? Do you need a big house at the beginning? Do you need everything, Even if you had maybe a good lifestyle somewhere else, you should maybe go a couple of steps back and tighten the belt a little bit. And then this country gives you this back for sure.
One of the most important lessons in this journey is something many people overlook. Success doesn't happen by taking money out of the business. It happens by putting more into it. Instead of prioritizing lifestyle, he made a different choice: to reinvest, to live modestly, and to give the business time to grow. This mindset is not just good for business. It's often essential for immigration success as well, because investor visas require more than ownership. They require commitment, growth, and long-term vision. So here's something to think about. If you were starting over in a new country, what would you be willing to sacrifice in the short term to build something bigger long-term? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Marketing and passion.
We tried a couple of things. Not everything was, successful, of course. The most success which we have in marketing is with billboards. We have normally 2, sometimes even 3 billboards on the interstate here, one on Las Vegas Boulevard. Usually it costs a lot of money, but they draw a lot of attention. People call us, say we saw your billboard, it's a phone number on it or the address, wherever the billboard is, and people just come in. And we also have flyers in around 250 locations, even at the Grand Canyon. And people pick them up, they go to the motel, or they will just book a helicopter flight, and then they see all kinds of flyers, and then they take them and they really come to our store and say, I saw this, I have nothing to do today, I just want to see a camera store, look around. That's how they find us. If I would start a business in America, I would start a business, something what they really like. a hobby, something where they are really good, something where they have knowledge now. Since I have this business, when I had a couple of different jobs already in my life, since I have this business, I never really go to work if I come. I really love what I do, and this is really perfect. And I believe if you love what you do, then you are happy, and then you make enough money, because the money you make will always be enough. But for the future, we will just grow the business. We want to make the second store successful.
Growth doesn't just happen because a business exists. It happens because people find it. Through strategic marketing, billboards, flyers, visibility, the business began attracting customers from all over the world. But beyond strategy, there was something even more important: passion. Because when you truly enjoy what you do, work no longer feels like work. And that changes everything. This journey is not just about building a business, it's about building a life around something meaningful. So let us ask you this: do you believe success comes more from strategy or from passion? Tell us what you think in the comments.
Before we wrap up, let's take a quick moment to test your knowledge. Throughout this story, we've seen how business decisions and immigration strategy go hand in hand. But how much do you really know about U.S. investor visas? Let's find out.
Question 1. True or false? Investing in a U.S. business guarantees a visa. Answer: false. Approval depends on how the business is structured and operated. Question 2. True or false? Investor visas require an active, real business. Answer: true. The business must generate income and operate actively. Question 3. What is one key factor immigration officers evaluate? Answer: business viability. They assess whether the business can sustain itself and grow. Question 4. True or false? Reinvesting profits can strengthen your visa case. Answer: true. It shows commitment and long-term growth potential. Question 5. True or false? Starting small means you can't grow big in the U.S. Answer: false. Many successful businesses begin small and scale over time. Did you get 3 out of 5 or more? Then you already know more than most people starting the process.
What started as a small, outdated store became a growing business with multiple locations. But this journey wasn't just about expansion. It was about resilience, discipline, and long-term thinking. Because building a business in the United States isn't just about opportunity, it's about how you use it. For many entrepreneurs pursuing investor visas like the E-2, the process often includes identifying the right business, organizing financial resources, working with experienced professionals, and structuring the business for growth before making the move. It's not easy. It requires planning, sacrifice, and persistence. But as this story shows, when you combine the right strategy with the courage to take action, you don't just build a business, you build a future. What part of this story inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments, and follow our channel for more stories just like this.